Hey folks, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well, and welcome aboard the mighty Goldwing for a long overdue biker scran with Geoff and Dan. Okay, so if you're not familiar with what a biker scran with Geoff and Dan is all about, let me explain. It's an occasional piece on the channel where basically I'll meet up with a couple of mates and we go out for a bit of food and a bit of a ride and a chat about motorcycles. And it's called Biker Scran with Geoff and Dan because scran rhymes with Dan rather handily, and I believe scran is a nautical or naval term for food, and Geoff and Dan of course are my mates. So the next thing you're wondering is, where on earth do you find me today? Well, I'm currently heading towards Oxford via the back roads from home, because I'm going to meet up with the guys at a place called Woodstock, which is just sort of northwest of Oxford. Going to meet up with them at 11 o'clock, which is about 45 minutes time. Hopefully I'm not going to be late. And then from there we're going to ride on towards Stratford upon Avon to a sort of a new biker destination, or a new petrol head destination called Caffeine and Machine, which you may have heard of before. I've seen it on various bike launches and things. I've never been there myself, but we thought we'd go and check that out as a place to get ourselves some socially distanced food. Now, because of the continuing COVID restrictions, of course, we're not going to be able to eat indoors. I'm recording this on April the 20th, and at the moment you're only allowed to eat food outside of restaurants. But it's a beautiful day, as you can see. It's currently what, 14 degrees centigrade. It's going to go to about 16, so that should be absolutely perfect for enjoying an alfresco sarnie with some pals. So stick around and stay tuned. Let's see what the day brings. I cannot tell you how nice it is to be back out on the bike again. This is the first proper ride I've had since the end of this latest lockdown. And by way of an update on the bike, for those of you that have been following the channel, you may remember that a few weeks ago I posted a video of my trials and tribulations of trying to get Apple CarPlay to work on this bike wirelessly with my iPhone using something called the C2 Play. Anyway, you'll be pleased to hear I did actually get that working in the end. I'll save you all the details, but basically Honda UK were very kind, took the bike back and upgraded the software for me. If you remember, you could only update the software by sending it back to a dealer, or indeed Honda in this case. They updated the software and that basically fixed the issue, and I was able to connect the C2 Play up with my phone, and Apple CarPlay works absolutely fine, or at least so far it seems to be, so we'll see. But the irony is, for those of you that know what these things look like, you'll see that actually I'm not using Apple CarPlay. I'm using the inbuilt native Honda sat-nav at the moment on here. And what I have found since I've had CarPlay working is that it's a bit of a faff to control actually, and it's not that logical and intuitive, and I actually quite like the inbuilt native sat-nav on the Goldwing. Works absolutely fine, as you can see. You don't need to be hooking up to phones or anything else. I don't need to have a headset on my helmet for it to work, so if the battery run out, you know, with CarPlay, you lose CarPlay, which is ridiculous. So actually, having posted that video about all the faffery that I went through to get CarPlay working, I'm probably not going to use it anyway, because I don't tend to use my phone on the bike. If I want to use my phone, I can do that via the Honda native apps anyway. The sat-nav, as I say, is perfectly good, and I don't listen to music on the phone either, on the bike either, because I just don't like having those Bluetooth headsets connected. Unless I'm using it to talk to Mrs. Flyer or a chum that I'm riding with, which happens very infrequently, then I can't be doing with another gadget to charge up. So actually all that CarPlay stuff probably was a bit of a waste of time. I'm just going to stick with what I got on the bike. I do have one remaining issue though, the eagle-eyed will see. I've still got my TPMS warning on the bike, the tyre pressure monitoring system. Honda have had a look into that, and it needs a replacement part. Of course the bike is under warranty, so they're going to do that for me, which is very kind of them. In order to get it though, they need a special tool, and apparently that tool isn't available till the end of the month, so I'm going to drop the bike back in, or rather they're going to come and pick the bike up, which is very kind of them, and they're going to sort that out for me at the end of the month, so hopefully that problem will be fixed. But despite all that, I absolutely love this machine. It is so comfortable, brilliant for long days out on the bike, and because I haven't ridden it for so long because of lockdown, and because this bike is still somewhat of a novelty to me, it being my newest machine, I thought I'd bring it out today rather than the GS. For those of you that have asked me, I do of course still have the GS. It ain't going anywhere, and my plan is that I'll use the GS when I'm on solo rides, and if I'm out with Mrs. Flyer, then I'll bring the Goldwing. So today I've sort of broken that rule, but we'll see how it goes over time. I certainly have no plans to get rid of the GS, although of course I reserve the right to change my plans. So just coming into Oxford now. Looking good on the timing. Hopefully I'm not going to be the last one there. Last one to Woodstock buys the tea. I've also got the stop-start thing working on the bike now. You know, when you come to a stop, it's called idling stop on the Goldwing, a bit like you get in cars. So here I am at traffic lights. Look, engine no noise because it's off, which is a winner. It wasn't working properly before because the battery was a bit rubbish. So Honda also very kindly replaced the battery under warranty, and that now works beautifully well. When the lights change, I'll show you. I'll just twist the throttle slightly to start the engine, and then I'll pull away. I mean, you can just do it in one movement, but then it's a bit jerky, I've found. So once this goes to amber, I'll start the engine by just... There we go. The engine started, and away we go. And then when I come to a stop here... Oh, they're changing. But you get the idea. I actually quite like that feature. Makes for very relaxed riding. All quiet. Off we go. Can't have that electric BMW beat me off the line. Outrageous. It's too busy playing with me idling stop. Okay, so I'm out north of Oxford now. I've only got about 2 miles to go until I get to Woodstock. So not far now. I should be bang on time. But just up here to my right, you may see the radar on the GoPro, or maybe not, is Oxford Airport. I only mention that because that's where I learnt to fly about 25 years ago. I haven't been up here pretty much since by road. I used to come up here every weekend for a whole summer in order to learn to fly. Happy days. Yeah, that's the airport over there. Well, they've built some extra hangars since my day. Wonder if the airplanes I used to fly are still flying. Okay, so just coming into the town of Woodstock, and on my left here is Blenheim Palace, famous of course of being the birthplace of Winston Churchill. I think I'm right in saying that. Should have looked it up before I came. But a lovely little town, as you can see, on the edge of the Cotswolds here in West Oxfordshire. Now what I've got to do is find the marketplace, because that's where we said we were going to meet, outside the town hall. I'll bet you Geoff's there already. Don't know about Dan though, he can be a bit of a slacker. Oh no, the sat-nav seems to have thrown a bit of a hissy fit. I think I've long since passed the marketplace. See if I can do a bit of a U-ey. Having said I preferred the Honda sat-nav to Apple CarPlay, maybe I'll reserve that. As I went straight past the marketplace and didn't notice. Right, second time lucky. This could cost me buying the teas now. Aha! This looks like the spot. Oh no, I'm last. How annoying. I'm going to have to buy the teas now. Good day, gentlemen. What a lovely day.
Lovely, isn't it?
Stops of his own accord, isn't that clever? Good to see you. Good to see you. God, blimey. Sat-nav's a bit rubbish though. Took me. I would have been here half an hour ago. So I'm not buying the teas.
You outsiders. You come in. You ride up to Market Square.
I did wonder whether that was a one-way bit when I came up there just now, actually. Anyway, it turns out Dan's a bit of a local expert, so you're about to say something very interesting. I thought I should get a better camera out. So tell us, Dan. Tell us.
I do like it when you give me a good build-up. So, the Bear Hotel.
Yep.
Woodstock is where Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor had one of their many honeymoons. I think they also honeymooned at the Randolph in Oxford. And if you just follow round to the corner, you'll get to Blenheim Palace.
Yep.
Seat of the Duke of Marlborough.
Is that where Churchill was born?
It's where Churchill was born.
Said that, didn't I?
And it is on the site of Woodstock Palace, where Elizabeth I, or the Queen who was to be Elizabeth I, was imprisoned by Bloody Mary.
I thought it was something to do with Charlie Brown.
And just for a bit of motorcycling interest, when Kawasaki reached its 25th anniversary in the UK, they held a celebration at Blenheim Palace.
There you go. Thank goodness I met you two. I would never have known that stuff. Right, so we're going to gird up then, and you reckon it's about an hour's ride from here?
An hour's ride.
And is it picturesque?
It's highly picturesque. We're going to go through Chipping Norton.
Lovely.
You might see the Chipping Norton set if you're lucky.
Is that where Clarkson lives?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
okay,
he doesn't.
well.
He lives near there.
Okay,
yeah.
fair enough.
Oh no! Let me clear out. Let me clear out here.
Dan's in trouble with the locals. Best we get on the bikes and move on. Dan's leading the way. With Geoff as tail and Charlie. Here we go. So I have put Caffeine and Machine in my sat nav, and it reckons it's about 40 miles from here. No, 40 minutes rather, 27 miles, which is perfect. Dan, as always, super knowledgeable with his historical facts and figures. I've got a feeling Dan did a degree in history actually, so that's why he comes across as so clever. I've got a feeling it was classics in history or something. Something fancy. Whereas I suspect Geoff went to the University of Life. Good man. And in case you're wondering how I know these two characters, I've actually known Geoff for a long time actually. And I knew Geoff way before I started motorcycling. I know Geoff through flying. Me and he used to have a share in the same aeroplane. Geoff's a fellow private pilot. And I used to talk to him about motorcycling, knowing that he was a keen biker, because he worked in the industry. He was the top marketing man at Kawasaki and Yamaha, I think. So I used to talk to him about how I want to get into biking at some day. So he's been kind of a mentor to me as far as biking is concerned. And down up front on the Triumph Tiger, he's the owner of a motorcycle PR company called Fabulous Biker Boys, and was a pal of Geoff, so I met him through Geoff. And a lovely couple of chaps they are too. But don't let them know I said that. And the other thing is, because they've been in the motorcycle industry all their working lives, Geoff is now retired, although Dan's still running his company. These guys have forgotten more about motorcycling than I shall ever know. So unfortunately, my battery ran out on the way here, but we have now made it to Caffeine and Machine. Here we are, there's the building. And it's an amazing setup here. Loads of tables and stuff outside, a couple of teepee type things. Here we go, check that out. So Geoff and Dan have grabbed us a table. We'll go and settle down and get some scran. So it turns out, in these COVID times, we can't actually go in and order anything. No one even comes to see us, but you scan this here, and then Dan magically gets the menu. So what are we talking about then, Dan? What are we having?
Well, that's the starters.
Oh, okay.
Feel free, you may touch my screen. I think our relationship is at that stage.
Okay,
where
thank you very much.
we can get intimate with each other's screens.
Okay. I'm going to look at salads.
You could have warmed your fingers first.
I'm going to look at salads.
Yeah, have a look at salads.
Greek or Caesar.
Oh, it's a very classical combination. Roman and Roman or
You're
Greek.
a classics man, aren't you? I thought that. You got a degree in that, haven't you? Is it classics and history?
He's very
See, you see, that's why you knew all that stuff at Woodstock, wasn't it? Oh, I think, yeah, I like the idea of the salad, but I think the cheeseburger's probably going to win it. That'd do me. One of those when you're in the ordering mode.
So cheeseburger?
Yep.
Cheeseburger.
You might get your chip mountain.
No, I know.
Things are looking up. Right, magic has happened. The food has arrived. Dan, what have you? Look at that.
We have
I think you might have made the right choice there.
posh nachos, actually homemade nachos with chili, salsa, a lot of jalapenos, don't tell Mrs. Dan, and guacamole.
And I think it's the first time we've seen you without a chip mountain.
No chips, no black
This
pudding.
is strange times indeed. Meanwhile, Geoff, we paid a fortune for these burgers, and it looks like
Well, in comparison,
It looks like what you get at Maccadees for about a 12th of the price. Anyway, we'll enjoy and give you our verdict in due course. So the burger has been unleashed. Here we go. I mean, looking at Dan's Nacho Fest, and then compared to this, I mean, I think you did well. Look at that. I mean, it looks all right, to be fair, but it's not in the same league, is it? What do you think, Geoff?
Yeah. Well, I think I feel sort of quite, what's the right
emotional?
word for it? Well, not so much emotional, but
I feel emotional. I paid for it.
I've got the slimming version.
Ah,
Normally, burger and chips would be, you know, that's not the wise choice.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
I was tempted with that, but
What would Mrs. Dan say?
It is quite spicy.
Why do they do them in brioche buns these days as well? It's not proper bread, is it?
it's nice.
It's all right, but
Yeah.
we'll have to think carefully about the marketing scheme. Right, so the Scran portion has been completed. We've finished our meals. We usually give them a mark out of 5, don't we? Or did we go to 10?
No,
we went
At
out to
10.
10.
Let's go to 10 then.
Let's go.
Okay, Geoff, what's your marking?
Well, I think based on the fact that it's the first time we've been out in such a long time, I'll give it an 8.
Yeah.
Just lose the 2 because it's a little on the pricey side. But quality, okay. Could have done with a few more chips, but
Definitely wasn't a mountain. Dan?
Well, I lucked out a little bit with the solo nachos with
Yes,
the chili
you did-
on
you did
top.
well there, yeah.
I have to say that for the price, I think they might have given me a double portion by mistake, or maybe they think I need feeding up. I think it's going to be a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
But I am, if you don't like it spicy, don't have it, because it is absolutely, I've got a bit of a sweat on. And,
So, got a bit of a rush to get home, I fear.
Yeah, absolutely, I'm clenching.
No, that's just what we needed. So in that case, very quickly, I think I'll give it a 9 as well. I think the setting's fantastic. Bit pricey, but you know, you get what you pay for, don't you?
well, actually, I could give it a 9 because I didn't pay a bean. You did.
Yeah. 10 out of 10 for, 10
This is
out
what
of 10
I-
price.
10 out of 10 for value. Yeah.
Excellent. Right, we're going to mount up and bit of a different ride back. Different.
Yes.
Hopefully, I'll show you it this time. We've got a battery on board, so
Yeah, perfect.
let's go for it. Right.
Good stuff.
Great bit of signage as we leave. In case you didn't see it on the GoPro, it said, "Don't be a dick." Fair enough. Well, it's been an absolutely cracking ride through from Woodstock, where I met the gents, back up to Caffeine and Machine. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, the battery ran out, so I didn't get the good view. So I'm hoping this one will last at least till I get back to Woodstock, and I'll get to show you some of the lovely countryside here in the Cotswolds again. Weather is still absolutely beautiful, as you can see. According to the Wii, it's 18 degrees now. So yeah, nice place up there. Quite pricey. I mean, it's strange times we live in, so having something that was basically looked a bit like a McDonald's for 12 quid seemed a bit salty, but I guess you're paying for the surroundings. Hello to the guys that came and said hello as well. Nice to meet you. Oh, they do white vans here. Oh, I can't tell you how good it is to be back out on the bike for a day's riding. Okay, I've only done, I don't know, 150 miles or something. But in weather like this, on roads like these, which when they're traffic free are absolutely beautiful, and on a bike like this, it doesn't get much better. So this is the town of Banbury. We're coming back a slightly different route, and I only mention it because of course this was where that lady rode that cock horse. I've no idea what a cock horse is, but she rode it to Banbury Cross. I don't know if that still exists, whether I'll pass it or whatever, but anyway. I know, she rode a white horse, didn't she? You had to ride the cock horse. Anyway, whatever, this is Banbury.
Banbury Cross.
Ah, that's it. I was just talking about that. The Cock Horse. Excellent. Good old Dan. We knew he'd know. This is Banbury Crossroads. And there's the White Lady upon a fine horse. Just there. I suppose every town's got to be famous for something. What a cracking road this is that Dan has sniffed out for us. We're on the environs of Enstone, another place I know because of the airfield. Looks like a big radio mast here that could be potentially on the airfield. Absolutely cracking road this, and we're all stuck behind a tractor with solid white lines so we can't overtake. What a pain. So just trundling our way into Woodstock now, the point at which I leave Geoff and Dan as we all wend our way home. Lovely little town Woodstock appears to be. I'll definitely be back sooner rather than later to check it out. How lovely is this? This is where we say goodbye to Dan. See you, Dan. Well, there you go. See you again. Okay, so as I trundle my way back into Oxford, that's it for another biker scram with Geoff and Dan. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks very much to Geoff and Dan for being my biker buddies once again. Sorry I cocked up the camera going in. Unfortunately, sod's law doing its thing. All the good views are going in, but there we are, never mind. Hope you got something out of it anyway. We won't leave it so long to do the next one, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Until then, this has been the Missenden Flyer. Cheerio.